We are going to explore the Greek culture and how one of their most important poems influenced the art world, making emphasis in one of the most important pieces of Exekias. The Iliad is an epic poem by the ancient Greek poet Homer, who is one of the greatest literary artists in the world, and his poem recounts some of the significant events of the final weeks of the Trojan War and the Greek siege of the city of Troy. It was written in the mid-8th century BCE. The Iliad is usually considered to be the earliest work in the whole Western literary tradition. The War of Troy starts with the abduction of Helen by Paris, the Prince of Troy, and the Greeks responding with an attack to the city. The Greeks are deciding about whether or not to return Chryseis, a Trojan captive of the king Agamemnon, to her father Chryses, a priest of Apollo. This is why Apollo decides to plague Greeks, and Agamemnon finally decides to return her to her father. But Agamemnon took Perseus, the Achilles' own war prize concubine. This is why the warrior becomes very angry with the king, so he refused to fight any longer for him. And he even asked his mother, Thetis, to pray to Zeus to help the Trojans to win. Achilles' best friend or lover, Patroclus, begs him to fight, but he refused, so he put on Achilles' armor and he went to the battle, being killed by Hector, the son of the king Priam. Therefore, Achilles gets furious and gets back to the war, taking revenge for Patroclus by slaying Hector in a single combat. Achilles attached Hector's body to his chariot and drags his corpse around the place. Then, King Priam, emboldened by his grief and aided by Hermes, recovers Hector's corpse from Achilles, and this is how the Iliad ends with Hector's funeral. This poem is a big source of information about how Greek culture was deeply attached with their gods' religion and explores themes of glory, faith, and war. The piece that we're gonna analyze and explore is one of the several artworks who were inspired of the poem. This amphora was made by Exekias, an acknowledged master of the black figure technique, and was found in an Etruscan tomb at Bulls. Exekias left behind the common orientalizing style. Instead, he placed in a center figure that was the focus of the artwork. The central image is a narrative scene with geometric patterns in where the two characters are Achilles on the left and Ajax on the right, playing a board game during the Trojan War. Exekias signed as both painter and potter and also brought the name of the characters to identify them. He also brought two words close to the mouths of the heroes, Thesara, which means four, and Tria, which means three, to let us know who was winning the game, who was Achilles. Ajax and Achilles sit across from each other, looking down at both figures are black silhouettes against the light. Exekias give all the attention to the center scene by using an imponent black color at the upper and bottom part of the vessel jar, which creates a contrast of colors. Even when we see the shield nearly to the warriors, as if they were ready to go back to the war, this scene is a depiction of the calm before the storm, being the antithesis of the archaic preference for dramatic action. The amphora is a mix of painting and carving, and the glossy look is because of the slipware, where Greeks spent particles of clay in water to use it as a paint. Exekias works to compose the scene to suit or fit the surface and shape of the amphora. We also can see how Achilles and Ajax are decorated with incisive detail showing textile patterns around the artwork, as we can see flowers on their clothes, details on their shells, and armors. If we pay attention, we can appreciate every hair of their heads and beards. These decorations create a balance since there is a transition between the plain black color and a vibrant background. Exekias used a stylized frontal eye from Asian, Egyptian, and Mesopotamian art, but he made the shoulders more naturally in a side view. We can see how the spears that Achilles is holding form an X, showing that he is relaxed and confident in the game, which will be a symbol of the Trojan War as well. However, the spears held by Ajax are in a parallel way. His body is more hunched over, and his heel is more picked up, which shows the tension in which the hero is, since he is squeezing his spears. In addition, Achilles' helmet and the tall crest indicate again his dominance and power over Ajax. This might be a reference to show how Ajax was always in a second place in the War of Troy, since Achilles was always the best warrior. Exekias emphasized his focus by using the combined diagonals of their spears, their gaze, their foot, and their extended hands to point to the game war, which makes us see directly to the game. This artwork might mean the fate of both warriors, since these games were about chance, and neither of them are winning since they cannot avoid their fate. However, even when the scene of this artwork is referred as a game between two friends, there is a theory that says that this game works as a type of training. So they were not playing, they were actually still training for a battle. The Iliad inspired several artworks around Greeks and around the world over the time.